Had dinner with some friends 11 years ago when I was newly unemployed, and I was sharing with friends what I hoped to do in the future. And I was looking at jobs in other parts of the world and hoping to get involved in some kind of social justice activity. And one of those friends just said, "Well, why don't you start a church?" And I said, "Well, because the kind of people that would go to the kind of church that I would start could meet in a phone booth somewhere." It's what we're doing here, what we have managed to pull off for over a decade now, is economically not feasible. The reason why you don't find a lot of other sermons online that are as nakedly honest and progressive as what you hear from our channels is because it wouldn't economically work anywhere. Any church that tried to do this in any city in the United States would have to fold up its tent and close. The only reason that we haven't is because we have 70 or 80 of our listeners who contribute to us every month. And some of them contribute $5 or $10. I think one guy gives us $7. There are a handful that give us $25 or $50, a couple that give us $100. But all together, the liberals that we could motivate to go to church in Springfield, Missouri, combined with the generous liberals that we've been able to contact in the English-speaking world, and we get a donation now and then from Japan and from France, one even from Korea. But it takes all of us working together. You know, just having to reshingle the roof created an economic crisis for us. We barely survive. So I encourage you, those of you that are in the seated congregation obviously are more generous than most of the folks that are not physically connected to us. But I need to encourage you to do what you can. I do. I contribute as much as I possibly can. I get tired of being asked by everybody under the sun for money. And right now in an election year, there's 24 candidates that I want to support. And I oftentimes do support them in the same way that our listeners support us, in 5 and 10 and sometimes 25, and if it's Bernie, maybe 50, but not a lot. I can't afford to give a lot to all those causes, and I get exhausted with being asked. But this is one thing, if you're a regular listener, you need to understand that there is no guarantee that we get to last. If we stopped getting income today, 6 weeks from now, we would not exist. So we need for the people that believe in what we're trying to accomplish here in a genuinely, honestly, academically credible, progressive religious message, you need to move out of the shadows and become a financial supporter so that we will have a future. We appreciate your help, and I encourage you to do what you can to help us to keep doing what we do here. Thanks.